Hi, everybody. Welcome to week one of History 311 Online, Summer Edition. I'm Chris Paget, the professor for the course, and I want to take this opportunity to say hello, introduce myself, and give you an overview of what the course will do, how we'll do it, and how you can get through in good shape. Now, since you're watching this video, it's clear you've found your way onto the course website on Canvas. So you've already accomplished one of the first and most important objectives. You've logged on. Soon you'll complete the first two non-graded assignments, the Get Acquainted introductory discussion post and the syllabus quiz. I designed these non-graded assignments to confirm your attendance and participation in class this first week, but also to provide a basic introduction for you in the course. Getting familiar with my policies is not only your obligation, but it's also essential in support of your having a good experience in History 311 online this summer. So chances are you've had a chance to look around the Canvas course website, including the homepage where you found this video. If so, you may have noted my contact information, that is my office telephone number, email address, and other pertinent information found on that homepage. You should check this homepage frequently, at least once every week, to find out what your assignments are and to get an overview of the week's materials. Whenever I have important announcements or reminders, I'll post them to the announcements page. So again, logging on and checking out whatever you find there is going to be an important part of what you do, not just every week, but really more frequently than that throughout the 8-week summer session. Remember our attendance policy. If you miss 2 or more assignments, you're liable to be dropped from the course as excessively absent, that is according to the ARC guidelines. So try to stay caught up and your likelihood of success is much greater. Now, I'll mention what we're doing this first week, even though I've already posted an assignment overview on our Canvas assignments page. And I'd like to say that today, we should double underline this, today, Monday, you should complete the introductory discussion board assignment. That is the Get Acquainted introductory discussion board assignment by tonight at 11:59 p.m. And then by Wednesday night, also complete the non-graded syllabus quiz. Both of these first week assignments are quite important in allowing you to go forward to your first graded assignment, which is our discussion post 1 on General Sherman's Civil War letters. To learn more about that first graded assignment, that first discussion post assignment, check out my instructions under the week 1 content module called The Landscape of Destruction. Also, and this is quite important, read the study materials I provide you under the discussion post guide and rubric, also under the same week 1 content module, including my post on how to write a strong discussion board post. I found over the years that students who pay closest attention to the study materials and guidelines I provide are the students who find the most success in the course. I think part of the success that comes with being in an online course is simply habit forming. You make habits. You get into a habit of doing virtually the same routine every week. Now, I try to accommodate you in doing that by giving you regular postings that you can look forward to. So, for example, on Monday mornings, I post that week's assignment overview so you can hit the ground running and complete that week's assignments in good fashion. Most of the due dates will fall on Sunday evenings at 11:59 p.m. as well. That is 1 minute before midnight. And when there is a different due date or time, like this week's first 2 non-graded assignments, I'll tell you that well in advance. But getting into that Monday to Sunday rhythm, checking assignments, completing them during the week or on the weekend, and submitting by Sunday night, I think that will go a long way toward your success in this course. Okay, another thing that I would like to encourage you to do early and often is when you submit something for a grade, like a discussion post or your homework assignments, that when you receive your grade, you don't simply look at the score or the grade itself, but that you also read the comments that I provide and look at the scoring rubric that I send along with your score. What students have suggested over the semesters is that perhaps more than anything else, those comments have helped them understand my expectations, to understand more clearly the criteria I use in grading your assignments. You know, online has a bit of a bad rap, I think, for being somehow less personal than an on-ground class. After all, in an on-ground class, you're showing up to a physical place every week. You're together in that physical space, the classroom, with your fellow students, with the instructor. But let's face it, how often have you sat in a classroom and never said a single word to the instructor, never had any actual direct interaction with your instructor? I bet that for more than a few of you, that's true. But even if you're the type of student who likes to participate in the classroom, there's something to be said for what an online environment offers you, both in terms of participation and one-on-one connection with your instructor. After all, I will correspond with you on a regular basis throughout the semester. You'll be corresponding not only with me, but also with your fellow students through the discussion boards. In other words, we'll be talking to each other all the way through this summer course. So again, get in the habit early on of reading what others are saying, reading the scoring comments I give you, reading the grading rubrics I provide, the messages I post, and the emails that I send. And when necessary, you should email me and we can carry that discussion further. All right, well, there's so much that we can say about the course, but as a student, I never particularly enjoyed having an avalanche of information falling on my head the first week or the first day of the semester. Instead, what I think I want to say here in the remainder of this little screencast I've done for you is something about why this course is valuable. I suppose you know it's valuable in an academic sense. You're in 3 units of credit. It's a transferable course. It's a general education course. It certainly adds to your academic transcript in that sense. But I think even beyond that, there's a value to taking a course like History 311 online. Students are not particularly in love with history. Will sometimes say that, you read about the past, it's one thing after another, it's dates and names and so much to memorize. And what does it have to do with you anyway? Well, there is certainly that element to it, and you're going to have to learn a lot of names and dates throughout this term. Otherwise, we'd have blank spaces where specific information is required. But I want you to see beyond names and dates. I want you to understand that history really is an ongoing dialogue between us and the past, with everything still up for grabs. Far from being a static bunch of facts and agreed upon truths written in stone, history is a subject for continuous inquiry and debate. We discover new evidence, ask new questions, develop new interests, formulate new angles of interpretation, and thereby continuously rediscover the past. Consider a simple question like, who owns history? Who gets to decide the past? And you begin to realize just how alive history really is. Because, of course, the answer to that question is nobody owns history. Nobody owns the story of the past. Even when governments or churches or college professors or publishing companies act as if they own the past, they really don't. And I hope you'll be surprised this summer just how often what we think we know about American history, what we've heard along the way, is really just a set of approved stories taught in schools, churches, or even Hollywood movies. More like mythology than actual evidence-based history. Only when confused with mythology does history seem like a dead letter, something already decided, as if your only job was to memorize it and worship it. To try and illustrate this point, I've created a module for this week on Canvas that presents material on the recent Confederate statues controversy. Much has been said about these statues as history, but what I'd like you to see is that statues and memorials are never simply history, but always reflect views, biases, and contemporary needs of those who create them. And it's important to keep in mind that history should not be confused with heritage. What's the difference? Well, that's a question we'll try to answer this summer. So far from being a dead letter, something already decided and packaged for us, let alone something cast in marble or stone. History is a living subject, an evolving subject. And because it is a living and evolving subject, it retains enormous relevance to us and our lives, at our address in the 21st century. Think of it this way. History is a kind of autobiography that connects the past to you and your life. In other words, in studying America's past, you're not just reading about other people somewhere else at some other time. What you're doing is reading about your own life and how you came to be who you are at this address in history, namely the 21st century. Because whether you know it or not, you're standing on top of a ladder, and every rung of that ladder before you represents the actions, the intentions, the drama, the lives, the conflicts, the truths, the lies, the great ideas and cynical propaganda that inform the generations before us. Maybe you've heard the line from the poet John Donne that no man is an island. Well, that is certainly true in history. No man, no woman is an island in history. We are all connected, and not just to last week or the week before, or connected only to our immediate family members, but in the larger story of humanity, which includes the story of the United States of America. We are connected in infinite ways, for better or for worse, to that which has come before us, to those who have come before us. So if only to understand how we came to be this way, why we live the way we do, the issues that concern us, why are they the issues that concern us? Our political attitudes, our cultural perceptions, even our personal desires have all been in some way, some basic way, shaped and influenced by the actions of those before us. So yes, how did we get here? And how did we turn out this way? And how does knowing that help us make informed choices going forward? That's what I want to spend the next 8 weeks investigating. And at the end of the course, I guess my guarantee to you is that if you've followed through, you've paid attention, you've stayed engaged, you've turned in the assignments, that you're going to have a better, more insightful answer to those questions than you do right now. Because ultimately, that's the value added of history. It gives us a greater sense of ourselves in the larger context of the world we inhabit. And at the very least, therefore, it gives us multiple perspectives on the choices we make going forward. I look forward to making that investigation with you this summer. And remember, do not hesitate to get in touch with me if there are any questions I can answer. Have a great first week, everyone.